Welcome to MelanatedMagikTV. I'm your host, Jessica X, and today I am coming to you with a story out of Atlanta Black Star. Former Fort Worth cop formally indicted for murder 2 months after shooting Atatiana Jefferson through her bedroom window. A former Fort Worth police officer accused of shooting and killing a woman inside of her home earlier this year has been indicted for murder. A Texas grand jury handed down the indictment Friday against Aaron Dean in the October 12th shooting death of Atatiana Jefferson. Station NBC 5 Dallas Fort Worth reported. Jefferson, a 28-year-old pre-med graduate student, was home playing video games with her nephew when she was killed. Dean already had been arrested on murder charges following the shooting, but in Texas, all felony defendants have a right to have their case presented to a grand jury to determine if the indictment is warranted. At a news conference Friday, the victim's family expressed relief at news of Dean's indictment. The family's lawyer, Lee Merritt, tweeted that while they're satisfied with the charge, they remain cautious that a conviction and appropriate sentence is still a long way away. Jefferson's mother, who's been hospitalized with congestive heart failure since before her daughter's tragic death, speaks with local media via Skype for the first time last week. Through tears, Yolanda Carr talked about the pain of not having her daughter here for the holidays. Even though I know we have a long way to go, at least we got the charge on him that he murdered my baby, Carr told NBC5. Merritt and Justin Moore, another of the family's attorneys, told local outlets Friday that the Tarrant County Criminal Defense Attorney Office should hand the case to special prosecutors. We don't need anyone with any ties to that police department or any law enforcement agency in the area, Moore said, according to the WFAA TV. In the week following Jefferson's death, prosecutors in Tarrant County said they had enough evidence to request a grand jury indictment and vowed to prosecute this case to the fullest extent of the law. Dean would resign from the Fort Worth Police Department prior to his arrest, days after the incident. The then officer and his partner responded to a home which belonged to Atatiana Jefferson's mother in the wee hours of October 12th after a concerned neighbor called the non-emergency line to request a welfare check, noting the doors to Jefferson's home were open and all lights were on. If you were so concerned, you should have went over there yourself, but apparently you're scary. But anyway, let's continue. Fort Worth police later clarified that the officers were actually responding to an open structure call and thus did not announce themselves when they arrived. Which they still could have the door was wide open. They went around the house, peeping through windows and stuff. They could have just hit the doorbell and that would have just been simple. But no, they had to go around the house. Anyway, let me continue. Publicly released Body cam video shows an officer searching the outside of the home with a flashlight before entering what appears to be a backyard. At one point, he turns the flashlight. At one point, he turns to flash his light on the window after spotting someone inside. The officer is heard demanding, "Put your hands up. Show me your hands." Before a single shot rings out. Which time he said, "Show me your hands," he shot her. Jefferson's nephew Zion told investigator his aunt grabbed a gun from her purse and aimed it at the window after hearing noises outside, according to the arrest affidavit. Authorities have said the young woman was well within her rights to protect herself, considering she didn't know who was prowling outside of her home, which I really wish she would have just open fired and just kept shooting to protect herself, but it is what it is. Police Chief Ed Cruz decried the incident, saying there was absolutely no excuse for Jefferson's killing. Since the shooting, Fort Worth authorities say Dean has been uncooperative and refused to speak with investigators. I wonder why. An arrest affidavit states that the then officer declined an interview with detective in the immediate aftermath of the fatal shooting. He resigned before his opportunity to cooperate, who also declined to give a written statement. Last month, a judge presiding over Dean's case issued a gag order surrounding the proceedings, preventing anyone connected to the case from discussing it publicly. A trial date hasn't been announced. Well, family, hopefully her mom gets to see, what happens in court. Her other family members, on the other hand, I really hope and pray that they don't get on this coon train, which we already know they have Lee Merritt as their attorney. And we know the history of Lee Merritt and how he rolls. He loves to, you see how he was with the Botham Jean case, and how the family forgave. I'm so sick of people being so forgiving. Like, black people, please wake up. Please wake up. We're not forgiving when it comes to people who look like us. When we have an issue with someone who look like us, and I will say, I've been one of the ones, I've done that myself. But now, I make sure I consciously, if I can forgive you or whatever, depending on what you did, I will. But if not, I will deal with you from afar. And if you need me, meaning if shit comes to a head and somebody's harming you and it's a white person, I got your goddamn back. But as far as, just dealing with someone who's harmed me and it's unforgivable, no. But when it comes to white, the old saying, white is right, which that's not the case. The white people, white man's water is not wetter. The white man's grass is not greener. Wake up, people. But back to what I was saying. We know how Lee Merritt rolls. I just hope and pray that they don't get on this forgiveness coon train and all of this stuff. And I hope that he gets a lot more than 10 years. Well, family, that's all I have for this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And again, I am your host, Jessica X.